Hey, are you a business owner, entrepreneur, or professional? If so, we want you to apply to be a featured guest on our show. My name is Adam Torres, and I host the Mission Matters series of podcasts. I've recorded over 3,000 episodes, and we are just getting started. How do you know if you'd be a good guest to be on the show? Well, only one way to find out, and that's to apply, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We want guests that have a story to tell, guests with a brand, a product, or a service that can benefit my audience of listeners. If this sounds like you, go to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. I'd love to talk to you and get to know more about your story. Again, head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special episode. Today I have on my co-host, Kamar Zaman. For those of you that have been following the series for a long time now, we do a masterclass once a week where I ask Kamar my questions and I have him solve things in our business, first of all, here at Mission Matters, and I really leverage all his years of marketing and PR experience, everything from SEO to press releases to you name it, content creation, lots of great things there. So first off, Kamar, just welcome back to the show. Great to have you on.
Hey, Adam. This is Q in the house. Talk to me.
Oh, man. I'll tell you, these are my favorite episodes because you get to do all the work. I just asked you the question. You do all the work here. So I'm excited to get to put you to work today, so to speak. So today we'll talk about content, really, how to create it, what the challenges behind that. And I guess maybe that'd be a good point to start. So like some of the pain points that business owners and entrepreneurs out there face when, thinking about content creation. I mean, how does that look?
Awesome. So before we talk about this, I always like to give some context to the content, so why we do this. And last week I got a call from a client. He's actually based in Los Angeles area, and I'm based in Dallas. So obviously he found me through one of the assets that we have out there. So he found me and he talked to me, and he is in the business of paving, like when you buy a house, you put these extra pavers and whatever, the stones, etc. So he contacted me and says, Kamar, I have a need. I have a website that I've had for a year, and the website is good looking. I've been producing content for about a year. I have SEO going on, and I even rank, but I am not getting people to call me. So what's going on? And this, obviously, this client is not mine. He is working with some agency. So after I kind of, checked his pulse to see, what the guy is suffering from, I started to, identify the pain of the business owner. So the first thing I want to talk about is the pain. And just like when you go to the doctor, right, he will ask you a series of questions. Okay, where's the pain? And then he will identify, okay, now we're going to do some kind of an X-ray, MRI, whatever, ultrasound. So I started to do the identification of the pain. And his pain was, he has a beautiful website, which I checked online. He has decent amount of content, pretty much every week. This guy has a team somewhere that is writing content. And then I checked his rankings, and his rankings are there. Why is this guy not being found? So, or even though he's getting found, why is he not converting? So I kind of helped him devise a system. And in less than a week, we applied this project that we call the machine, and our machine started to work. And it's been about 2 weeks now. So he has started to get momentum. His rankings are improving, which he had before, but he's actually getting phone calls. And that was his biggest pain. You have the ranking, you have content, but why the phone calls are not coming? So that's where we identified, So I would like to go over that in depth today.
No, that's awesome. And I guess one of the things out there is like just how do people get noticed in the market? So it seems like he had a lot of the nuts and bolts kind of covered. Am I right here?
Yes, he had his basic requirement was the website covered. He had the content written every week. So like you said, his nuts and bolts were covered. But what the problem was that his website was designed by an SEO company, or rather a web design company that does SEO. So they just jammed up the keywords and they said, okay, well, somebody searches for paver company LA, you will show up. And he did show up, like for paver company LA. But the question is, does that keyword, the paver company LA, compute to a transaction? It may be an educational keyword. It may be a vanity keyword that he would like to see. But does that convert? And that's where I started to look into his conversion matrix, and he was not converting. And whenever he converted, like he has history of some phone calls, he had some conversion matrix. So I said, okay, well, why are you not writing content that is actually helping solve the pain of the mom that is sitting at home? She needs pavers, and she's not going to type for paver company LA. She's looking for, how do I improve the outlook of my home? Okay. And when I do that, for example, your articles don't show up, your website doesn't show up. The websites that do show up are the Home Depot. Websites do show up that are Lowe's, So, and they are talking about the subject matter that you are in. So why you're not talking about that? He says, I don't know. I thought that's what it should be. So we helped him reframe, like, intent. It's not about keywords anymore. It's about intent. If you are selling something and the intent is not there, then your transaction doesn't happen. So with a little bit of effort from our side and with his side and his team, we changed the intent. And when we did the intent, we started to get the content noticed. As a result, when the content is getting noticed, the chance of him getting that phone call increases, which was not happening before.
Wow, that's a big deal. And so just crafting that story and the intent the right way, I mean, that makes all the difference, right?
Correct. And I've seen this many times with podcasts that you do, right? So you ask a series of questions, you put these podcasts on, your YouTube channel and your iTunes, etc. And if somebody was to search based on the intent and they found the podcast or the YouTube channel, then they're going to watch that episode and they're thinking now, well, my intent is met. Now, do I really trust this guy? So the trust is talking to an expert, i.e. Adam Torres, who's an expert host, and that may be a plumber that you are interviewing. And so now the content matched the context brought the intent then validated with trust. And now they are saying, well, you know what? I am going to bookmark this video. And the more bookmarks your video gets, the more chances are that your video on the Google search will rank better. As a result, it'll get shared also, which bookmarks are basically shares. And more people are going to find your podcast or your clients through the podcast.
Man, that's a big deal. That's so, I mean, you just gave so much information. I'm just trying to unpack that. Maybe if we attack this from a different angle, and that was a great case study, by the way. So like there's people listening right now, business owners, entrepreneurs, executives are like, all right, we're having issues with content, or maybe we have it, right, but we're not getting the results we want. I mean, what can people do?
So the first thing people need to do, and this is a lot of people don't know this, and their SEO companies don't want them to know, is every website has a search console. If you have a website and you have an SEO team, you need to see what are the triggers or the search terms that are being searched for? And if those search terms are showing up on the fourth page and you got 10 clicks, okay, on the fourth page, that means that you need to optimize that content so it shows up on the first page. So look into your own search console, look into your data, look into your pages that are showing up, and then do a manual search. So if you look at Google Analytics and says, yeah, man, this page is getting traffic, but when you go to that page and look at the metadata of that page, and that page is not on the first page of Google, but it's getting traffic because people are still somehow finding it, would it be nice to put it on the first page of Google? That's when you start to write more content, so it boosts that page to become what I call the skyscraper, on the first page of Google.
That's awesome. This is very helpful. And so as I'm looking at Mission Matters and even the content we distribute and how we do it, I mean, for us, I know we have a whole company built around it, and it takes a lot of people to put out even just one piece of our content. So I know that you're helping, business owners and executives with your content machine. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So our content machine is an artificial intelligence robot, if you call it, that we have created. And what we do is we plug in your content through an RSS feed. So, I don't know how many people know about RSS feed, but every website, especially the one that is built on WordPress, has by default RSS feed. It's kind of like a data in that we understand. So we take that feed and we put it into our AI system. We pull all the data, and by looking at that data, then we guide the business owners to fix that content. And by fixing that content, so we are basically taking your data that you already have, matching with the intent that the market needs to be for, and then find a gap that is missing and get you where your phone needs to ring. So going back to Mission Matters, look into your console for missionmatters.com. Look, what are the search queries that you're getting? And then the ones that you are getting a lot of traffic for, look at that page. What did you do to get that first page? Because not every podcast does exactly the same, right? Everyone is going to be different. So look at the ones that are doing well and then improve the ones that are not by looking at the ones that are doing. And that's where secret is. And obviously, then I'll guide you how to find the intent, the ones which are doing better.
Man, that's awesome. So basically, you're picking the winners, right? And then you're putting more resources towards the ones that are winning.
Yes.
So it's like, hey, we got this horse is winning, or this whatever comparison we want to make. This is the star. This is the one that's doing it. Hey, let's invest some more money and time on that one, because that one's going to go further than trying to bring up all of the content at once. Am I understanding that correctly?
Absolutely. We did a project for a client, a big client, and they wanted to promote an air purifier in the market, and there are many air purifiers in the market, but the ones that, and we don't know how other competitors are doing, but we know that we needed to promote our products. So we wrote a piece of content that says, can COVID-19 or coronavirus help? Can air purifier help with COVID-19? And when we plugged that content, it became very successful, but it didn't become successful right away because the client was targeting air purifier and, viruses, but there was no mention of COVID-19. But people were searching. So we found out that, okay, if the searches are there and our content is showing up, but it's on the fourth page, what can we do to be on the first page? The moment we did that, we advised the client to change the strategy, their numbers increased. As a result, they got more phone calls.
So take me through what kind of like the user experience looks like for I'm a new client. I'm saying, all right, Kumar, I want to work with KISS PR. I heard about this content machine and I'm in. Take me through that user experience and things like that, because I know sometimes people are like, all right, this sounds great, but how much of my time is it going to take? How much is this or that? You know what I mean? So how does that look like to onboard and to begin working with you?
Yeah, so I'll kind of tell you exactly what I did with this paving company. So when he called me, he said, okay, exactly what will it entail? And I told him that we will take your feed. So I said, give me about a day to review your site. So I did that. Next day, I sent him a proposal which entailed the transaction basis. But I said that all I have to do is take your content through the feed, review it, and then all you have to do is work 1 hour, maybe less than an hour per month by me sending you the suggestions. And if you say, yeah, those suggestions are good, then we will do the heavy lifting. The client doesn't do anything. Okay. All he has to do is just spend an hour. We do the heavy lifting. I have a team that does all the work, and then we work in behind. That's why we call it the machine. The machine is actually doing the work, and then we send them the reports, and we jive that reports to our system to see where we were and where we are now, and we keep improving. So we have to measure it, right? So every week we measure, we improve, we call the clients and say, hey, we think you may have got 60 phone calls. How many of those converted? And he says, yeah, man. And some of the clients actually send us feedback, as soon as they close the deal, they send us the feedback. Hey, by the way, I got this call at 9 o'clock. It converted. It was a $22,000 transaction. Whatever you did, keep doing it. When they give us that kind of feedback right away, we know what converted right away. So we are agile. The ones that give us feedback at the end of the month, it just takes us more time. So tell the client, anytime you have a good transaction, just report back to us. You don't have to give us the client name, but at least tell us that this lead happened at 9 o'clock. We would be able to identify that and get you more of those winners every single day.
Man, that's big time. And the best part I like about this is it doesn't take that much time either. You're saying you're spending an hour or so a month, you're reviewing the content, you're accepting some suggestions. I mean, that's something that I like because it can be a routine and you can track your results and it just makes sense. So I like this. And the main thing here too is that it's just solving that whole problem of how, really, I mean, if I had to boil this all down to one thing, it's basically you're cutting through the noise, right?
That's completely. We cut through the noise, and there is so much noise as everybody's selling something, and we like to keep it simple. And that's the way, KISSPR, when I created it, I had put a lot of thought that I wanted to keep it super simple, so which is KISS with predictable results. So PR stands for not just public relations. PR actually stands for predictable results because we want to be able to predict the results based on the measurement that we do. And if we can do that, you will keep getting better results every time.
Man, that's awesome. Well, Kumar, it's been, I love doing these shows with you. I can't wait for the next topic you bring us next week. I mean, it's just going to be great. They just keep getting better and better. For those of you that haven't been following this for a long time, definitely hit that subscribe button. Kumar comes on here. He teaches a nice masterclass once a week, and we get that knowledge out of you. We shake that knowledge tree, Kumar, as I like to say, and I'm excited to hear what you teach us next. So that being said, if somebody is listening to this and they want more information and they want to connect and learn more about KISSPR, I mean, what's the best way for them to do that?
Go to our website, KISSPR, KISSPR.com. That's the best resource. Obviously, if they Google us, if they Google my name, Kumar Zaman, or KISSPR, they will be able to find us without a problem.
Fantastic. Well, Kumar, again, thank you for coming on the show today. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. Hope you learned a lot. If you did, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. We definitely want you to be a return listener and a return visitor. And Kumar, look forward to bringing another episode with you in next week. Thank you.
Thank you.